Hello and welcome to our podcast, The Global Smart Cities. Today, our guest, Letitia Plumer, member of Houston City Council for at large position 4. Hello, Miss Letitia.
How are you?
Good. What about
I'm
you?
doing wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
It's a pleasure as mine. Thank you for being here with us. Miss Letitia, share a bit about your journey and what inspired you to become a vocal advocate for smart cities.
No, absolutely. This is such a great question. When I was elected for city council as a doctor, I really looked at the quality of life issues,
Mhm.
and I made a vow to myself and to my community that I would figure out a way how can we use technology to figure out why the people in this community had a life expectancy of 20 years less than other communities. And so we used sensors, air quality monitors in that area. And it really allowed me to understand the collection of data and how we can analyze that data and then how we can make policy changes to make our communities a better place to live.
Great. So, in your view, how can cities like Houston leverage technology to address long-standing social and economic gaps while ensuring that no one is left behind?
So the city of Houston is 2.5 million people approximately and growing every single day. So many people are moving into the city, especially from the California Bay Area, probably because of the cost of living is so much less.
Mm.
So as we see our communities grow and as the population gets to be denser, we find that, and we are very car centric.
Mm.
We're oil and gas city, as many of our listeners know already.
Yeah.
We have to really figure out how do we keep carbon emissions low? How do we manage air quality? How do we ensure that our roads and bridges and infrastructure is solid? We have many floods and hurricanes in the city of Houston. So how do we ensure that our communities know when a flood is coming, or if a flood is happening, that their communities may not be affected?
Mm.
These issues happen all over the city, but they primarily happen in low income communities because the infrastructure, the time spent, and the resources spent in those communities are really low. So it's important to use the technology, use the AI,
Mm.
use all the smart all the smart things that we do have to create equity, and I think that's the whole point of it. And so the way in which we use air quality monitors, the way in which we use our water monitors to check on flood levels. Those are ways in which we can ensure that every single person within the city of Houston can live an equitable and have a high level of quality of life. And so this is incredibly important.
Yeah.
This is an incredibly important conversation, and we need to make sure that every person understands that they're just as important as the other one.
Can you highlight some specific initiatives or projects undertaken during your tenure that exemplify the principles of smart cities and their impact on the Houston community?
Absolutely. So, my favorite policy that I've created and really supported is their air quality issues.
Mm.
The city of Houston is very industrial, and we have a lot of oil and gas refineries in the city, and our air quality is unfortunately very poor. Also, it's poor because we're so car centric. We've got thousands of cars on the roads, and unfortunately, we haven't really shifted to electronic cars, right? And so we have been able to put air quality monitors in many communities that we see that children have high levels of asthma, or we're seeing lung cancer or lung issues in specific communities. And so we've not only put those air quality monitors in those areas, but I've advocated to the state guidance, the Texas environmental quality, uh, to make them increase the the uh, limitations of industries coming in that specific area. And then we also put pressure on the federal guidelines, the EPA, to ensure that those guidelines are met. And
Mm.
so the work that we've done is not just local. I mean, we've really advocated for those communities and we've really reached to the regulators at the state and the federal guidelines. And so now we have communities to where we know what's going on, we know what the air quality is, we put the medical infrastructure in place, we educate that community as well, and we really can allow those communities to thrive in a more positive way.
So, what your thoughts on the significance of the Global Smart City Forum, and how do you anticipate its outcomes and discussions will impact the smart city industry on a global scale?
This forum has been so mind blowing,
Mm.
mostly because we have brought 80 countries
Yeah.
into one room, and so many similarities are there, and there's so many opportunities to learn from them. And so it has been such an honor to be here. It's incredibly exciting. I've had an opportunity to visit with many different people and find many collaborations, honestly, in the world of virtual living now,
Yeah.
right? We're able to really do a lot more than we did pre-COVID. I think COVID allowed us to really blend worlds, and this allows us to share ideas, for me to take ideas back and continue the conversation that we've had here. So this has been really eye-opening, and I'm hoping to be able to come back every single time and be a part of this amazing forum.
Thank you so much, Letitia Plomer, for your time and for this informative information.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode.